With Amex Platinum,
Welcome to the Centurion Lounge.
you get access to the Centurion Lounge, so the sounds of vacation start before you get there. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a one-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
This is Optimal Health Daily, How to Become an Early Riser by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com, and I'm Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy middle of the week Wednesday, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I read some of the best health and fitness blogs to you, and always with a little bit of my commentary at the end. Now, today is Wednesday, and like I do every Wednesday, I like to share that little bit of inspiration with you. Just because Wednesday for many of us is the middle of the work week, and we may need that little extra boost to get through the next couple of days. So with that, here we go. Quote, "The hard days are what make you stronger." Ali Raisman. All right, and now that we're in the right frame of mind, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. How to Become an Early Riser by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com. Quote, "It is well to be up before daybreak, for such habits contribute to health, wealth, and wisdom." Aristotle. Are morning people born or made? In my case, it was definitely made. In my early 20s, I rarely went to bed before midnight, and I'd almost always sleep in late. I usually didn't start hitting my stride each day until late afternoon, but after a while, I couldn't ignore the high correlation between success and rising early, even in my own life. On those rare occasions where I did get up early, I noticed that my productivity was almost always higher, not just in the morning, but all throughout the day. And I also noticed a significant feeling of well-being. So, being the proactive goal achiever I was, I set out to become a habitual early riser. I promptly set my alarm clock for 5 a.m., and the next morning, I got up just before noon. I tried again many more times, each time not getting very far with it. I figured I must have been born without the early riser gene. Whenever my alarm went off, my first thought was always to stop that blasted noise and go back to sleep. I tabled this habit for a number of years, but eventually I came across some sleep research that showed me that I was going about this problem the wrong way. Once I applied those ideas, I was able to become an early riser consistently. It's hard to become an early riser using the wrong strategy, but with the right strategy, it's relatively easy. The most common wrong strategy is this. You assume that if you're going to get up earlier, you'd better go to bed earlier. So you figure out how much sleep you're getting now, and then just shift everything back a few hours. If you now sleep from midnight to 8 a.m., you figure you'll go to bed at 10 p.m. and get up at 6 a.m. instead. Sounds very reasonable, but it will usually fail. It seems there are two main schools of thought about sleep patterns. One is that you should go to bed and get up at the same times every day. It's like having an alarm clock on both ends. You try to sleep the same hours each night. This seems practical for living in modern society. We need predictability in our schedules, and we need to ensure adequate rest. The second school says you should listen to your body's needs and go to bed when you're tired and get up when you naturally wake up. This approach is rooted in biology. Our bodies should know how much rest we need, so we should listen to them. Through trial and error, I found out for myself that both of these schools are suboptimal sleep patterns. Both of them are wrong if you care about productivity. Here's why. If you sleep set hours, you'll sometimes go to bed when you aren't sleepy enough. If it's taking you more than 5 minutes to fall asleep each night, you aren't sleepy enough. You're wasting time lying in bed awake and not being asleep. Another problem is that you're assuming you need the same number of hours of sleep every night, which is a false assumption. Your sleep needs vary from day to day. If you sleep based on what your body tells you, you'll probably be sleeping more than you need. In many cases, a lot more, like 10 to 15 hours more per week, the equivalent of a full waking day. A lot of people who sleep this way get 8 or more hours of sleep per night, which may be too much. Also, your mornings may be less predictable if you're getting up at different times. And because our natural rhythms are sometimes out of tune with the 24-hour clock, you may find that your sleep times begin to drift. The optimal solution for me has been to combine both approaches. It's very simple, and many early risers do this without even thinking about it, but it was a mental breakthrough for me nonetheless. The solution was to go to bed when I'm sleepy, and only when I'm sleepy, and get up with an alarm clock at a fixed time, 7 days per week. So, I always get up at the same time, in my case 5 a.m., but I go to bed at different times every night. I go to bed when I'm too sleepy to stay up. My sleepiness test is that if I couldn't read a book for more than a page or two without drifting off, I'm ready for bed. Most of the time when I go to bed, I'm asleep within 3 minutes. I lie down, get comfortable, and immediately I'm drifting off. Sometimes I go to bed at 9:30 p.m., other times I stay up until midnight. Most of the time, I go to bed between 10 and 11 p.m. If I'm not sleepy, I stay up until I can't keep my eyes open any longer. Reading is an excellent activity to do during this time, since it becomes obvious when I'm too sleepy to read. When my alarm goes off every morning, I turn it off, stretch for a couple of seconds, and sit up. I don't think about it. I've learned that the longer it takes me to get up, the more likely I am to try to sleep in. So I don't allow myself to have conversations in my head about the benefits of sleeping in once the alarm goes off. Even if I want to sleep in, I always get up right away. After a few days of using this approach, I found that my sleep pattern settled into a natural rhythm. If I get too little sleep one night, I'd automatically be sleepier earlier and get more sleep the next night. If I had lots of energy and wasn't tired, I'd sleep less. My body learned when to knock me out because I knew I would always get up at the same time and that my wake-up time wasn't negotiable. A side effect was that on average, I slept about 90 minutes less per night, but I actually felt more well-rested. I was sleeping almost the entire time I was in bed. I read that most who experience insomnia are those who go to bed when they aren't sleepy. If you aren't sleepy and find yourself unable to fall asleep quickly, get up and stay awake for a while. Resist sleep until your body begins to release the hormones that rob you of consciousness. If you simply go to bed when you're sleepy and then get up at a fixed time, you'll likely cure your insomnia. The first night, you'll stay up late, but you'll fall asleep right away. You may be tired that first day from getting up too early and getting only a few hours of sleep the whole night, but you'll slog through the day and will still want to go to bed earlier that second night. After a few days, you'll settle into a pattern of going to bed at roughly the same time and falling asleep right away. So, if you want to become an early riser or just exert more control over your sleep patterns, then try this. Go to bed only when you're too sleepy to stay up, and get up at a fixed time every morning. You just listened to the post titled, How to Become an Early Riser by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. While we can't control every aspect of our future health, we can be proactive about it. That's why I'm excited about my experience with 23andMe Plus Total Health. This isn't just another health service. It's a comprehensive longevity platform that gives you insights you typically wouldn't get from traditional healthcare. I recently joined, and what excites me most is how it combines advanced genetic screening with regular blood testing throughout the year. What sets this apart is having clinicians with specialized genetics training who help create a personalized preventive health plan. I'm particularly fascinated by their biological age feature, which tells you how old you really are based on your internal biomarkers. And the best part? Unlike your calendar age, this number could actually decrease with lifestyle changes. So, advocate for your health today. Go to 23andme.com/OHD for your limited time offer. That's 23andme.com/OHD.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. Today's author, Steve, mentioned something that's so important. Find what works best for you. There are some sleep strategies that work pretty well for most people, like keeping your bedroom dark and cool. If you are laying in bed and can't fall asleep within a few minutes, it probably means you're not sleepy yet. You can get out of bed and find something to do that's not too stimulating for your mind and body. And as Steve said, reading a book, especially one that's not stressful, can be the perfect way to decompress and encourage sleep. But again, try Steve's suggestions to see if they work for you. And like him, you might just find your productivity increases too. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening all the way through to the end. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And of course, I'll see you back here on tomorrow's show where your optimal life awaits.